Hi loves, it's Lacey and welcome to our space. So today I am so excited because I am collaborating with my friend Leonette over at DIY Beauty on Purpose. If you are not familiar with her channel, she makes some amazing DIYs. They are all beautiful, and she even has a shop that she sells some of the things that she makes. I love everything that she does on her channel, and she has the most pleasant personality that I have ever met here on YouTube. She is such a sweetheart. We are going to be doing some wood themed DIYs. I only have a couple for you. Technically, it's kind of 3 DIYs. So let's get started with my first one. I am going to be spraying the top portion of this spool with Rust-Oleum's 2 times the paint and primer in espresso. And here it is. And don't worry about the holes in it. We're covering those up. I also have 3 of these plant hangers, some of the die-cut butterflies from Dollar Tree, and a bunch of succulents. The long ones here came from at home. This one came from Big Lots, and the rest are from Dollar Tree. I'm also going to be using Waverly's white chalk paint as I'm doing here. And I'm lightly brushing over the espresso. I don't want to cover it all up, and I want it to kind of shine through, and I'm not doing the edges of this with it. I just want it to lighten up the project a bit. It's a little too dark, but I wanted it to be a little more like weathered. Then I'm going to take some of this floral foam. It came from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to cut off some pieces. I cut all the way around with my X-Acto knife from Cricut, and it just breaks off easily if you do that. And I'm just going to be stuffing it into each one of these. I'm going to make sure that I put some in the front too, some smaller pieces, so that I have enough to attach my succulents to. Then I'm going to take my succulents and push them into the floral foam. And these had some little long stems on them, so I'm cutting them off with my wire cutters and I'm pushing them in. On each one of these, I'm going to have 2 different kinds of florals. So, and they're all succulents, so I'm going to put 2 different kinds in there. I'm going to add some hot glue on the ones from Dollar Tree especially, and I'm going to push them down into the foam so to make sure that they don't fall out. I'm going to do this for all 3 of my little pots. Each are going to have 2 different kinds of succulent in them, and I'm going to cut off the stems if they're too long so that they fit in there nicely. Some of them have little clips on the bottom, some of them only have stems, and as you can see, one of them is in an actual pot from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to go ahead and take that one out after I stick this lovely lavender one in, and I'm going to add some hot glue to it too. Now this one had some styrofoam on it, but it works out. You won't be able to see it in the end. Then I had these little glass beads. They're like broken up pieces of glass, and I thought those would be nice to cover up the top of the succulents. And so I'm taking some of them and I'm pouring them out and I'm putting them in by hand. Be careful if you're using a high heat glue gun like my Ryobi glue gun, because it is going to be hot when you try to put all these little glass beads on top. I do this to all 3 of my little pots. I find it easier just to pour them out and to put them in by hand, but you could pick them up and scoop them with something or try to shake them out of the bag on there. Just be careful, like I said, don't burn yourself. Once I get all of those all coated, I'm going to see where I want to put my succulents, my little pots. Now they have little hangers on the back where you can hang them on a nail, but I'm going to just figure out where I'm going to put them on here, and I'm only going to use some screws into this for the 2 side pots. I only doing this just to show you that you can screw them into the wall and hang them, or you can put them on something like this, and I'm just judging underneath it where it's going to go, and I'm going to put the 2 side ones with nails. Now to make sure they hang kind of evenly, because I want the 2 sides about the same level, I'm going to measure from the side to where I put the first nail and from the bottom. And then I'm going to go across and do the same thing on the other side. Now the little hole that's in the top of my wood piece there, I'm going to use that as my hanger. So I'm going to try to make sure that these are even on the sides and I still have the little hole at the top, if that makes sense. You don't have to be as precise as I'm being here. You see, I'm measuring like 4 times and then putting the nails in 1 time. Now, on the middle one, I couldn't do that because there's a hole in the middle, and so I am just gluing that one down. These are all really lightweight. You could glue them all, but I'm only gluing the middle one. And then I decided, of course, let's add some hot glue to where the nails are, just in case the wind blows or something, and these can stay on there with extra hot glue. Now I'm taking some of this ribbon. It came from Sam's Club. It is a Members Mark ribbon, and I did this kind of funky. You should put it through the hole before you put any hot glue on the ribbon. I put a little on there to start with, and then I'm going to glue the 2 pieces together. I'm actually going to put down my silicone spatula from Dollar Tree and add a bunch of hot glue so these pieces stay together. You don't have to worry. The hot glue won't stick to the silicone and stay there, and you can get it right off of that spatula easily once you pull it out. Then I'm going to flatten it along the back here and use my crown stapler that's from Ryobi, and I'm going to go ahead and staple it on there to the back so we have a nice hanger. Now, you guys know I'm extra. I thought it looked really nice the way it was, but I decided to add some die cut butterflies like I showed you I had in the beginning. I changed the color. I had the orange ones and now I have the pink ones. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking some floral wire. They have this at Dollar Tree, and I cut a piece, and then I'm going to use my needle nose pliers to round off the ends to make some antennae for my butterfly. I just folded it in half really tightly, and I bend the sides out at the top after I do it. And then I'm going to glue it in between 2 of these die cut butterflies that are the same. They pretty much match up. I don't like that they're white on one side, so I always make my butterflies the same color on both sides. And then I'm just going to peel up the sides and put the glue in and press them down. This is super easy to do. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to take some little detail scissors from Dollar Tree and cut off any excess white that I see on what I'm going to call the top of the butterfly. Once I do that, then I'm going to bend it in the middle on either side of what the body would be, and you have a butterfly that looks like it's flying. I'll add some hot glue to that middle portion and then put it on to my wood round. This looks perfect like it is. I absolutely love how this turned out, but I'm extra today, and I thought it could use a few more butterflies. So I pulled out some of these from Crafter Square. They have like a little shiny silver part around them, but if you peel off the top of the 3D, you can just use the plastic part that doesn't have silver on it, and I added a few more to our sign here. It's basically a planter that hangs on the wall. Now on to DIY 2 and 3. I know, it's basically the same DIY. We're going to be utilizing the pegboard from Dollar Tree, and I have the rectangular ones here. They come in black, and they also come in white. There's 3 different sizes. These are the rectangular ones, and they have a large square one, and they also have smaller square ones that I'm going to show you right here. This size, I have 8 of the rectangular ones, and I only have 2 of the smaller square ones. That's what you'll need for this project. We are also going to be utilizing some of these square dowels. This is a 3-foot long by 1/2 inch square dowel. I got those at Home Depot. I'm also going to be utilizing the round wooden circles from Dollar Tree Crafter Square and a Lazy Susan. Now, we are going to start off by spray painting my square dowels. Make sure you spray paint all sides and even the ends of these. And I did 2 of them all together. That's enough for this project. But make sure you spray paint the ends as well. So we are going to start off now, and I'm using a little bit of E6000, though I kind of gave up on that because I didn't have very much left. I'm also going to be using Gorilla Hot Glue Sticks in my Ryobi hot glue gun. And we are going to glue 2 of the rectangular pegboards together. Now they have a side on each one of them has an indentation and the other one pokes out a little, you want to put those two sides together. When you see the pegboards, you'll understand that. I'm showing you here. These are indented and then the other ones stick out. So you want to put those sides together. Then we're going to take one more of the rectangular ones and we are going to glue it to the bottom of those two that we just did. That is going to be the bottom of the boards. Okay, so the two that we put together first are the top and then the other one's the bottom. I made two of those. Now we're going to take one of the small ones and put it to one of the rectangular ones. The small one will be the bottom of the board and I made two of those as well. Next, I'm going to take my Ryobi tape measure and measure the length of these boards. It's going to be about 14 and 3/4, I think, maybe a little bit more. And then I'm going to transfer that over to the dowels. We're going to cut that length on the dowels. So make sure you just measure yours. It's Dollar Tree products, so it should all be the same, but you measure yours. Don't go by my measurement. I'm transferring my measurement over onto the dowels. Then I flip that dowel around and I do the same thing and measure that same measurement on that dowel. We're going to use both of the painted ends. Then here I have my mini miter saw. It's a mini cutoff saw, but it's like a miter saw. And what I did is put the dowel in there, I tightened it up, and then I'm just measuring where it's going to fall. Make sure it falls on the line. And when it does, I press the little red button that's on top and I cut through it. Now these are a little thick, so it didn't make it through all the way on the back. Then I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing and cut the other line. I'm just lining it up to make sure it's going to hit the line. I can see that from my angle. And then I press the little red button on top and I cut all the way through it. And once I get through it, then I'm going to take it out and it doesn't get that little edge for some reason because they're fairly thick. So I'm going to do that to both of them and we'll have 4 pieces all together. So now you're going to start off with one of your big sections. The top is where the vertical boards are and the bottom's where the one that's on its side. So you're going to make sure the painted part of your dowel on the tip goes to the top. That's going to be the left of you watching this video. So where my left hand is that's holding the board, you want the painted part to go up there. Those are where the vertical boards are. So then you don't have to paint it in case you put the wrong end up there afterwards. And we're going to glue that board down to that. It's simple like that. You hold it for a few minutes and it'll stick. Then you're going to flip it around. So now you're going to want the painted end to go the opposite way, to the right. And you're going to glue that one onto this board to the right. Basically, we're making a giant rectangle. It's going to be tall as a rectangle, and it's also going to be wide like a rectangle. It'll look like a rectangle both ways. I hope that makes sense. If not, you'll see in a second. Then we're going to take this same thing and we're going to take this short side, because we're making a rectangle, and we're going to glue it down to the board. You're going to put the board face down, so you're looking at the inside portion now, the back side of the board, and you're going to put glue on it, and you're going to face the right side out towards me and the wrong side, the back side, towards the inside of this, and glue this one down. You see? Now we've done that on both sides with the small ones. Now to get the big one inside, it's really not that hard. I'm showing you this way, but you can turn that side down, face down, so you have the small side down and put glue. And then do that on the other side too. I'm just showing you this way because I think it's easier for you guys to see it. You wouldn't be able to see it the other way. Be careful and not get glue on yourself from the other side. And you're going to make sure you have the tops facing the top and the bottom facing the bottom. And you're going to set these in and then press it together and hold it until these dry. And you will have a giant rectangle. I just held this for a few minutes after I got it all lined up to dry. You need a giant rectangle. and it shouldn't fall apart. Use E6000 if you want to use this somewhere where it's going to be real hot or it's going to be banged around a lot. But this is what it looks like. It's a giant rectangle. I know it's not hard, but you're using wood pieces for the sides to make sure it stays together. Now we're going to move on to our wood round. I'm going to take out the tag and everything, and I have 2 of these. I was going to take, and I'm going to show you here, my Lazy Susan and glue it in between the 2 pieces. And to do that, I would have turned it sideways like this, the pieces, and glued one down and then the other one on top. That wasn't going to work out real well because it didn't make it as thick and as sturdy as it needed to be. So I painted that one black. It's black chalk paint. I actually touched it up too. And I glued it down to the other one. So there's 2 together. And then I put the Lazy Susan underneath it. I glued it down to that. And you will see that here in a second. So I took now, or I'm taking now, some leather stripping that I had, and see how you see the Lazy Susan? It's just glued down to the back of this. Since this is really thin wood from Dollar Tree, I didn't nail it or anything. If you have thicker wood round like this, you can skip this step. You can just paint the whole thing black and put the Lazy Susan on there and nail it in or screw it in with screws if your wood is thick enough. Since mine wasn't, I glued those 2 together, and I'm just putting this leather trim around it with Gorilla Hot Glue, and it works out. It works out fine, and it will work out fine with it just being glued. So then after that, we are going to take and put our giant rectangle on top of the Lazy Susan with some alien tape. You can get this at a number of places. It's like an as seen on TV thing. Then we're going to start to add our pegboard pieces. They have these cups. And so I put a cup on the side and I'm adding straws in there. I have these flamingo straws that came from Dollar Tree, and you can open the bodies up and they look really cute. The kids love these. I'm going to take another cup and put it on this other side, and I'm going to add in some stir sticks. Mine say Happy Valentine's Day because I couldn't find my other ones, but I'm putting those there. I also have this bowl with some cut up fruit. I have some oranges, some lemons, and some limes, and it's in a glass bowl, which is way too heavy for this. I'm going to change it out later and you'll see. I have some maraschino cherries. I'm also going to change out that glass that those are in because it's a little heavy. And then some strawberries that are in some Dollar Tree plastic bowls. I'm also adding in one of these little trays, and it's the perfect size to hold some cocktail napkins. These I got from Dollar Tree. These are a little big, but I have some smaller ones that fit in there perfectly. And it'd be really cool if you could get some and put some decals on them for this. I also have the medium hooks that I just showed you that I'm going to be adding to the top of this. And then we are going to be adding some bar cart accessories. Yes, this is going to be for like a bar. I have the silver hooks too that came in the store, and we're going to be adding one of those and putting in like a little stir spoon over here on this side. I do add some little hot glue dots to that because that spoon, when you spin it, will fall off. I also am adding in this little whisker, and I'm going to be adding a strainer for the, or actually it's not a strainer, I'm adding my can opener and wine bottle opener there. On this side, I am going to put some more of the little medium-sized hooks, and that's where I'm going to add the strainer. And then I'm going to add here, after I think I moved this hook, I do. I'm going to add here one of my little shot glass holder things. Need to move that down a bit. There you go. So you can pour in for some drinks. And I'm going to add in my little zester here that came with that entire set. Then we're going to move on, and we're going to add on a little shelf right here so we can put on some of my coasters that I have that I think would be great on a bar cart, and another little shot glass thing just in case more than one person's making a drink at a time. I also moved over my wine opener and put some little tongs there. Then on the side where the stir sticks are, I'm going to use some more of the little silver hooks and put some of the bottle caps, some of the fancy ones that you can put in once you open a bottle of wine to keep it fresh on the side. You're going to need that. And then on the other side, I am going to show you that they have these hooks. They come two in a pack. I'm not going to use them. I just want to let you see how they look. And I'm going to use another one of the trays. And it is going to be at a perfect height where I can still get my straws out. I'm going to add in some little shot glasses. I also have some of these really cool little light up ice cube things. I'm going to put those up there just to show that it'll hold all kinds of accessories up in that top portion. Then once I get all of that done, I am going to take and put another cup over where the straws are. There was room, if I move the cup over a little, to add in some little party umbrellas into that cup. I could put a second cup over on this side too, but I really don't have anything to put in that cup. So here I'm showing you, I took another small section and with my leftover pieces of wood from those two, I put them on either side and I painted the ends and put it on top. And then I have this bowl that will fit in on the top of that. And if you slide that over, you can put some alien tape up there along with it. And that alien tape will let you take that back off. And you can stick in some scoops into that bowl and you will have an ice bucket. Now it will hold ice. I did try it out. I did not get any film of it. I'm so sorry. But it will hold ice in there as long as you don't fill it all the way up, so you will have ice. I also changed out the little cups there with the fruit and with the maraschino cherries. These are cups that have a little glitter in them, and they are over by the graduation section or the party section at Dollar Tree. I also took some of the bigger little loops and I put them above the cups so it will make the stir sticks stand up taller. And I took the smaller loops and I took some of these cordial, mini cordial glasses that Dollar Tree has, and I put one inside the hook on the pegboard, and then I looped another one underneath the little loops over here, and it will hold another cordial glass. You can put it in that loop and it'll stop it from falling over. And I put in there some of the long toothpicks so you can get your strawberries or your maraschino cherries, or the silver ones that are plastic that you can use for the same thing. Look at how much stuff fits on this giant rectangle. I mean, it's perfect for this. I absolutely love it. And I know you couldn't see that the ice bucket was up there, but here's a better view of what this looks like. And it's perfect to put by any bar. So you have all of your accessories. This will work outside, especially if you use a stronger glue. I use Gorilla Hot Glue, and I'm going to reinforce it on the inside with some either E6000 or epoxy so it will not fall apart. Now, you guys know I'm extra, so you don't want to put an ice bucket up there because you need way more ice. I put some florals in the top. These are fake florals, some fake magnolias that I have in my stash, but you can actually set a vase in there and actually put in some real flowers, or you could put in some kind of cylinder that will fit, that maybe you can get a wine bottle in some ice inside of there. Also, I decided I could use this for something else. So instead of just doing a wine caddy for this, if you take all of that out and switch some things out, you can make it a s'mores bar. I have some graham crackers at the bottom. I left my napkins because s'mores are messy. And then I have little cups of marshmallows, some flavored ones and some regular ones. On the top, I put some extra cups because the grandkids always just want cups of marshmallows. A lot of them don't even want to make s'mores. They just want cups of marshmallows or cups of candy. So I have the extra long barbecue skewers on the side. I added an extra ring at the top here to make sure that they don't fall off of this, and I put my little tongs on the side. And then on the other side, I put all kinds of candy. I have some York peppermint patties for s'mores, Reese's peanut butter cups. Of course, you can see the Hershey's there. We even put strawberries on s'mores. You would not believe the things these kids put on s'mores. I also have my Hershey's little s'more makers on the side too here. I love these things and it works out perfectly. I love the straws because the kids always lose their straws, but you can put anything on there. So that is it for this video, and I want to thank Lacee a huge thank you for collabing with me for this. Make sure you go over to her channel. Like I said before, it'll be linked down in the description below, along with the video she did for this collaboration. I cannot wait to see what she did. I know it's going to be amazing. I also want to thank you guys so much for watching my video. I know I've been gone for a while, but like I said before, I promise you guys pegboard DIY, and here we have it. I love that this is a bar caddy or a s'mores caddy for a summer season. I love that it's portable, and I'm sure it's going to be in our backyard getting a workout all summer long. The grandkids are gonna love it when we have it stocked full of all of the candies and stuff for s'mores. And I know a lot of our adult friends will appreciate the fact that they can get all the accessories and use it at our outdoor bar. So that is it, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye, loves.